Hi, I'm Pete Draper. I'm here to talk to you about India's visual effects revolution. The geography of the entire space wasn't small enough, so the statue would actually only come to about here. So how about we break Rana's head off? Those had the idea of, okay, we're going to have to do this digitally, but we ended up just pushing water towards the bridge and then waiting for it to just reflect back. So he knows about the modeling, he knows about the compositing, he knows about the effects work, he knows about simulation work. This scene and this other scene, these are in the second film. This one's in the first film. First film? Second film? I would say it's identical. So there are lots of techniques and lots of methodologies which are being used all over the world. It's how they're being used within the filmmaking processes is how things are different. In the West, there's a lot more focus on pre-production compared to what there is done over here, for example. Over the last decade or so, when I first came here, there was a lot more play by ear, go to floor, shoot, and then let's see what happens after the fact. Compared to now, where there's a lot more pre-production going on, like films like RRR, Baahubali, for example. There was a lot more pre-production work done in those particular films than there were in other films that were done around that time. That's down to the education of the director. Rajamouli's inputs in post-production they're never vague, they're always to the point. And the good thing about working with him is that he speaks the same language with regards to terminology for visual effects. So he knows about the modeling, he knows about the compositing, he knows about the effects work, he knows about simulation work. He's very, very educated in that. And that's through exposure and that's through experience. We knew already what it was because originally it was only going to be one film. So we didn't know it was going to be two films until we were inside the visual effects process for what we call Scene 42, which was Prabhas and Devasena coming into the courtyard. We got told, it's like, okay, right, so this scene and this other scene, these are in the second film. This one's in the first film. First film? Second film? Oh yeah, there's two films now. We're doing it in two films. There's lots of scenes and lots of real-world environments which do get replicated. Case in point, in Baahubali 2, we had a fair amount of day for night sequences, especially during the action portions. In the night portions, for example, we were mostly shooting for drama. But that gave us a really good representation, a really good reference for all the live action that we did for the fight sequences, for example. So we knew how the light was going to work and we could replicate that day for night accurately. We reused a lot of assets, like for example, some of the digital doubles, the statue stuff, the backgrounds and so on. Was there any footage that was reused? No, but there was lots which was juggled around because there was some stuff which was, again, originally shot for one film that was then put into two films. We redid a bunch of the assets to make it to improve on the quality of it. The outer gate had a rework, and the surrounding walls on the outside, they had a rework as well. The exterior topography also had a rework. I think some of the smaller buildings also had some additional rework applied to it, just for betting. And the biggest thing that I wanted to do was the pyramid and statue collapse, because we put the pyramid up in the first film, which was a lot of work. So we really wanted to destroy that pyramid. The funny thing was that on the spot itself, the idea was that this statue was supposed to come down and then smash straight through the corridor at the side. So we have the shot with Nasser, the king's father, just looking there in horror as the head just goes through, bam, straight through it, and then just goes straight into the bridge. and then covers the bridge and so on. But the geography of the entire space wasn't small enough. So the statue would actually only come to about here. This is the temple corridor. So it wouldn't actually hit. Director's like, just cheat it, fine, it'll be okay. It's like we have an aerial shot, and as it's going down, you're gonna know that it's not gonna work. So how about we break Rana's head off? And I said that on set, like Rana's sat behind me, Provost is there, director's there, and he goes, right, okay, show me a quick preview of it. So I literally just took a model, snapped it, broke it off, animated it on spot, and like 5 minutes later I went, oh, there you go, this is what the idea I've got. And the idea was that it comes down, hits the deck, the head snaps off, rolls across, and like a bowling ball goes straight through this corridor and then into the bridge. And the only input I got from the director is that you got to move the lion statue in so it hits the lion statue, so therefore that creates the snap. And then Rana just went behind me and said, yeah, use my head as a bowling ball. And that was like the biggest affirmation I ever had in my entire life. Was neatly choreographed by a guy called Lee Whitaker, who is a fight coordinator. So he came over and worked with Solomon and the director to stage everything, not only the wire work, not only the fight choreography, but the staging, the planning of and the execution of it. The individual beats that were designed worked pretty neatly. There was some kind of like key gags, like for example, when Rana's hitting his mace onto Provost's shield, that then creates the floor crack and a little ripple of water. Those, they had the idea of, okay, we're gonna have to do this digitally, but we ended up just pushing water towards the bridge and then waiting for it to just reflect back. And that reflection back was just what we used in the shot. In the climax of the second film, he basically jumps on top of these two bulls, and then the entire carriage, they rear up and the entire carriage blows and that kind of stuff. It was visual effects that kind of like drove that design change, and our thought process is that Rana, or the king, he's basically learned from his mistake that he had in the first film with just having a couple of horses and a single spinning disc. Whereas now he's already been fighting bulls and everything, so he's obviously trained them, he can work with them and everything. So not only is he got now, instead of horses, he's got bulls now. And instead of just one spinning disc, he's got two. He's also got arrows flying out the front now and all this kind of stuff. So it's a genesis of an idea in the previous film to like something that's like been upgraded and upgraded, and you can see the refinement over the years kind of. Hi, thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to IGN India.